It is time to expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks. It is time to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. It is time for the Captain Talks Flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, the Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. I welcome the podcast where me, the Captain, talks about movies, TV, sports, flicks, anything you can see on the two-word screen. I like to get out here, give my unique perspective, because after 47 years of being on planet Earth, I have developed a new perspective about these movies, TV, sports, and flicks, and I like to get in there about it. Because just maybe you care. And according to the stats, it looks like you do care. I want to give a big shout out to Detroit. Got some plays over in Detroit this past week. Gracias, gratitude, Dodorba. In Detroit, I've been there a bunch of times. Very cool city, very good food, very good people. Loved it, awesome. And you are also home to the Detroit Lions, the Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Tigers, fine sports teams. Now, if we can just get those Detroit Lions to win a Super Bowl, life will be good. So thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Gracias, gratitude. And just FYI, back in the day I went to school radio DJ, but never got a job. I think I never got a job because I just didn't have the focus. If I would have been just a little more focused, then maybe it would enable me to become a radio DJ. But it didn't. And it allowed me to become the greatest podcaster in the Matrix. Something to debate, might be true, might not be true, but I said it on the internet, so it's gotta be true, right? Because everything on the internet is facts, not facts, true, false, propaganda, fake news, the Matrix. Pens, pencils, paper, computers, tablets, phones. I don't know. I didn't make the internet. Ask the people that made the internet. So when you're lying, just be aware, just watch out. Anyways, I could ramble all day, but I won't. Let's get right to the podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you might just be laying around, sitting around, and gotta do like random tasks. Maybe gotta concentrate a little bit of concentration. You just want like a soundtrack in the back that's not too distracting. You don't want some guy rapping to you or singing to you. You just want some instrumental ambient type music. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Spaceman Picard Tiberius just dropped a new track. It is called Peace Is The Bassline. So if you want some ambient, relaxing, meditative, focused, studying type track in the background, I'll put a link below to a track called Peace Is The Bassline. Check it out now. Let's get on with the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back again. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. The last 12 days have been absolute craziness. Not my life, in my mind, bro. Sometimes the mind will go to crazy places. Things you think, things you feel, things you think about, things on your mind will just take you to weird, strange, stressful, anxious type places. And I went there. But on the journey, the path of life, sometimes that's how it is. Most of the time, the vibe is unstoppable, unshakable. I won't stop, I won't quit. But there are moments when that dips a bit. Sometimes certain experiences that happen in life trigger certain ideas, certain thoughts that will make you feel just a little bit low. And ladies and gentlemen, in the last 12 days, I did experience that. During that time period, it was the anniversary of the death of Vicenta Love, who I've talked about in this podcast many times. And it still hurts, it still bothers me to this day. And so on the date when she passed on and moved on, and if you heard these podcasts for a while, you know how important this lady was to me. So I've been feeling it. I've been feeling that loss the last 12 days. That was part of it. There's other things going on, but that was a big part of it. Just reflecting on losing that wonderful, wonderful lady that helped me so much. And just out of my mind. And that really just kind of brought the vibe down. But then I remembered like Vicenta Love would want me doing well, feeling good, and have a great vibe. So I kind of flipped that the last couple of days. But there's moments there I was like, oh my gosh, bro, these emotions, baby, they're just tough. But sometimes on the path of life, that's how it is. You just gotta push through it. At least that's what I did. So ladies and gentlemen, I am back to feeling my regular great self. Well, not totally, there's still a little bit there. but we're better than we were. And sometimes on the path of life, that's how it is. But ladies and gentlemen, enough about my stuff. Let's get right into the podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, this week, I'm going to talk about a show that was absolute madness. And I mean that in the best way possible. This show was absolutely madness, bro. Like straight up. And I am talking about the show called Liaison. Now, before I get into Liaison, a couple things. First of all, there will be spoilers. And second of all, I do own some shares in Apple. Don't be clear and transparent to let you know that. Now that I've told you that, let's get into Liaison. So like I said a minute ago, this show was absolute madness. I binged the whole show like in probably about a week and a half. And the show was just like this roller coaster of events that were just like messing with my mind, bro. I'm watching this show. I didn't know what was gonna happen. It was absolute craziness. I didn't know what these people were gonna do, how they're gonna act, how they're gonna respond. And I absolutely love it because of that. Sometimes you watch TV shows and movies and you kind of can predict the next move certain people might make. And this show had no idea. Like the main character, Allison Rowdy, I never know what she was gonna do. She was so unpredictable, chaotic, and craziness that I didn't know what she was gonna do next. And it was absolutely crazy, wild, and entertaining, right? And then her French buddy, the mercenary in the show as well, I know what he was gonna do. So real quick, let me give a quick breakdown or synopsis of what the show is about. Basically, what happens in episode 1. You got these hackers from Syria, and they hack into this company, it's like security company, and they find some things on there that not supposed to be found, because this security company is trying to secure a contract with the British government, right? Okay, so no big deal. It happens all the time. Security companies are always trying to get contracts with governments and companies. It happens all the time, right? No big deal. But the only thing is, in this particular show, this security company was doing some shady stuff in order to try to get that contract. And that's what these Syrian hackers discovered. And basically, the whole show is just trying to connect with these Syrians and get that information. And the British government's involved, and the French government's involved, and there's a lot of running and fighting and shooting, and just a lot just to get this data and these Syrians with this information. That's why I'll go on the whole episode. So while doing that, it's just a roller coaster of absolute craziness. I can't even explain it well enough because it's absolute madness, and I mean that in the best way possible. You should just go over to Apple Plus and check this out. It's absolute craziness. So anyways, great show, loved it, great ride, it's very entertaining. And I just told you in the opening that like, even I was feeling a little emotionally like whatever because of the loss of your sense of love. This show distracted me from that with all the craziness going on there because it was crazy. It was so crazy. I can't even wait this long to see it. But like I do all the time in these podcasts, I just want to get into like one aspect of the show. So in the show, it turns out that these hackers discovered that this company was, doing shady things to get the British government contract. The shady things they were doing is they were hacking things and making the hack things do things they're not supposed to be doing. So there's like 3 main things that happen in the show. First, they hack a train to make the train crash. Then they hack some kind of power station, dam or something like that and mess with that. And then they hack a plane. And so in all these instances, remotely people are hacking into this and basically controlling these devices. Now, as someone that has went down the rabbit hole of spying, espionage, counterterrorism, security, all this kind of thing. The one thing I've only dabbled in and looked at a little bit is cybersecurity. I've not really looked at it too much. I've seen little bits and pieces to hear the little things about it, but I haven't gone down that rabbit hole extensively. So seeing this show, I didn't know if these particular situations in this TV show were actually something that could happen in real life. They may be able to do that, they may not, I don't know. I've never heard or read about a situation similar to these in these shows. And I hope I never do. I don't want to pull out the internet and read a story saying this because that would not be cool, bro. Hopefully this kind of thing is not possible and they're just maybe exaggerating a little bit. But I don't know, in this day and age, things are crazy. Maybe that can be done. But the way the show shows these events, it is absolute craziness. It's just so crazy and it's just like it could cause so much chaos if this was really to happen in real life. So I hope this kind of thing can't happen. And if it can, I hope the security experts are doing everything in their power to keep that shut down. Because it's absolute madness. I've always thought for a while now that everything being interconnected like that was probably not the safest thing to be doing. Right? I'm no computer expert. I'm no security expert. But having these things all connected like that, it just doesn't seem like the safest thing to be doing. I'm just saying, like just all this connecting like that, not the most secure thing. And I'm just a layman, right? I imagine these security experts already aware of that. Now, why they keep connecting everything, I have no idea. I think they do it for the ease of it because it's easier, most likely. But honestly, it does not seem like the best way to be moving. So them showing all this in the show kind of made me think about security just a little bit more. And actually what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down the rabbit hole of like cybersecurity, reading and podcasts and books and articles more, just to kind of get a feel like, is this even doable? Is this even possible? Hopefully not. So I'm going to learn a little bit more about it. And it kind of sparked more interest into that. So anyways, this show is absolute fantastic. And honestly, a lot of the stuff they got on Apple is pretty good. Everything I've seen on Apple has just been great. I'm very impressed with the quality of the program that's been over there. I've talked about a couple Apple things I think on here before. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have Apple, I highly recommend you go check this out. It's a great ride. It's absolute craziness. I think you'll enjoy it if you just want to go on a crazy, wild ride. And real quick before I sign off, this show is in French. A lot of it's in French, and you have to read subtitles unless you can speak French. So if you're not into subtitles, maybe you won't dig it. But come on, bro, use your reading skills. Don't you go to kindergarten, elementary school, high school, teach you how to read? Use those reading skills, right? You know what I mean? Just read a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Watch a show, read a little something. You exercise your mind while you're being entertained. So yeah, check it out. Who cares? It got subtitles, but it does have subtitles. And then one last thing I want to say before I sign off. One of the characters in the show, her name is Sabine. And I would say her real name, but I can't pronounce it. But she was in Fada. She was in some other things I watched. She is just such a lovely lady. She's a very lovely lady. And when you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. You'll say Sabine, like, oh yeah. I've been a fan of her since like 5, 6, 7 years ago, or whenever Fada came out. As soon as I see Fada, I just fell in love with this lady. She is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful woman. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful lady. And I just had to say, I had to put it out there because I've been so infatuated with this woman. And yeah, she's very nice. I've seen some interviews, she's a very nice lady. And she's good at acting. She's just like nice to look at, right? I don't think there's nothing wrong with saying that. I'm just saying it. I mean, because it's true. And you know, I always wondered if maybe I could find a nice lady like that. You know, because the captain is still single, searching for a significant other, his better half. It just maybe I can find a very lovely lady like that to travel the timeline with, maybe. So yeah, I just want to say that. Very lovely actress. I had to put it in the podcast. And that's all I got to talk about today. So until next time, we'll see. Aim for the highest. Andrew Carnegie. Until next time, this is Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks Flicks.